Hi there, Tualatin Library goers and Lego lovers. It's me, Blair Archer, here in the BRIX studio again to bring you some more awesome instruction on how to build your own amazing Lego creations at home. Let's take a look inside the Lego Idea Head and see what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be building cars. From my experience, I know that motor vehicles are definitely a fan favorite as far as simple, fun, and playful Lego builds. So let's hop on over here to the build desk and take a look at some of the elements you can use to build a simple Lego motor vehicle frame for yourself to get started, as well as some more complex Lego models that can inspire you in your own building. Beep beep. Alright, let's take a look at some of the pieces that we're going to need in order to build our minifig scale motor vehicle. Now would be a cool time to take a pause on the video and run over to your collection and see if you can find some of these elements or similar ones that we might be able to substitute to build your own model at home before we get started, and then you can follow along as we put it together. Let's start by pointing out that we will need some plates. Different size plates, 4 wide, 2 wide. That's because there are different kinds of axles for small Lego vehicles, which are also 4 wide and 2 wide in nature. We're also going to need some wheels. There are many different kinds of wheels. Slick wheels, textured wheels, big wheels, small wheels. We're going to take a look at different kinds of wheels in a moment, but for now, just get a set that matches your small axles. Those will usually have this kind of hole in the back. Sometimes it can be hard to get your tires on to your wheels, and sometimes it can be difficult to get your wheels on and especially off of your axles. So if you need some help, don't be shy. You can ask somebody to give you a hand. We're also going to need some windshields. I brought a few different varieties of windscreens over so we can take a look at those in a minute. Some sort of steering mechanisms, maybe these little antenna or gear shift pieces as well. Some headlight bricks, some 1x1 versions. They can be this style or they could be this style as well as a larger one, and some other regular 2 wide plates, some 1x1 plates in transparent colors, yellow and red, for brake lights and headlights, as well as some 2x2 slopes at a 45-degree, and a couple of additional little pieces. A bracket that's also a 1x2 modified plate with this overhanging 1x4, and maybe a little grill tile like this. Alright, let's start putting some pieces together. If we are using the 2 wide wheels, typically you would mount them to the bottom of a plate, like so. And then you can build on top after you add another plate. Because if you don't add another plate here, you'll see that if you build across, you run into the wheels, top of the wheels. So you have to have what's called enough clearance for your next Lego piece to go on top. So we can line them up and put them on. Now, as long as you have the extra plate in between, you can start building on top. And now we can start building up from this point to create the body of the car. We'll start by adding in one of these brackets at the end, which will kind of give us a bumper. And then we're going to put one more plate over the top here. Now we're going to put this part down for a second. Build up a little bit of a windshield assembly area. And put these two parts together. And in here, if you wanted, you can add gear shift. And we can stick that part on the front of our vehicle, like so. Pop our steering wheel on there. Now we're going to take our brake lights and put them on the back. You can pull out a regular tile if you need to. Sometimes we have some stickers for license plates kicking around, maybe. Stick one of those on there. Now we're really getting the shape of a small vehicle here. From this point, you can design out and make it wider. You can make it sort of like a slick race car. But this is sort of the simplest base you can create for a vehicle. You can use these bracket techniques or more headlight bricks in front. To start really building it out and making it a little bit more large and robust. From that point, you might take some 4-wide plate and put it in the middle here to create the bed of your vehicle, the inside. What's cool about using some of these snot bricks in here is that then you can build out sideways and you'll be able to actually put elements facing out on the side of your vehicle. Whether you want it to be a wall, or if you wanted to have it say something, you could get some printed tiles there with letters. And have your vehicle be decorated. Put brackets on there too to make it even stronger. Line it up with a bracket back there. So once you get a sturdy base, you're really free to take the vehicle any direction you want. And using the snot bricks, like the headlight brick, or this 1x4 modified brick with the studs not on top, which is what the snot stands for, allows us to add a couple of those cool details as finishing touches. Throw our grill on there. And now we've made the base for a mighty fine little multi-purpose vehicle. It can be more truck-like or more sporty, depending on the kinds of elements that you use to finish off the build. If you wanted to make it look like it goes really fast, you focus on getting these smooth aerodynamic shapes. And then if you really wanted to add a little flair, probably grab some cool fins or something to put on the back to make it look extra speedy. Let's take a look at some other kinds of vehicle builds throughout LEGO history and some that I've designed that will show you a few more ins and outs of building cars. We'll start with this classic LEGO sports car. Actually has a tow hitch back here, a little trailer, and it pulls a motorcycle. Well, what I wanted to show you was that there are some specialized pieces that you may or may not have in your collection that are like wheel wells that work with the pre-built or the 2-wide axle system for the small wheels, and they have them for the larger wheels too. And they have these cutouts that allow you to build an element specifically made for that right over the top of your wheels, and they help you get around that clearance issue when you're building in such a small scale. Now, LEGO has definitely advanced through the years, and we now have slightly fancier sports cars. This is from the newest Speed Champions line. Obviously, it's quite a bit bigger. LEGO cars over the years have gone from being 4 wide to being 6 wide, and now we have 8 wide. When you're looking at them, you can see that they all kind of fit a minifigure, but they imply a very different sense of scale. The relationship between the figure that sits inside and the vehicle. So that's a pretty tiny vehicle compared to the minifigure. It's almost like a go-kart. This one, we have to take the windshield off to pop them in there. They probably won't go with their air tanks. This one fits like a very tight race car. And then finally, we have the newest model, Speed Champion sets. And they actually made a special element here, a whole new chassis for this that you build off of that specifically allows it to be an 8-wide vehicle and accommodate 2 passengers underneath. Apparently not with helmets on. However, it definitely looks a lot more large than the original Lego cars were. And it's interesting because it's this silly little conflict between things being comically small and comically big. Before we roll out, I wanted to show you a vehicle that I designed. It's a bit like an exploration and rescue vehicle, and all the different play features and details that you can pack into a compact design like this. I started by using my favorite sets of wheels, which have springs in them. They came in one of my first Lego sets that I can remember when I was a kid for an outdoor exploration vehicle, and allows them to have really awesome suspension and go over rocks and stuff. Got some windshield wipers on here, rear view mirrors, doors that open, snorkel, roof rack, and a working winch, which I have hidden inside. This allows you to extend out here, and deep underneath on the inside, I've actually created a spot where you can reel the winch back in. In the back, there's actually another one. This one connects to an emergency hose. We also have some tools. And then I'm going to show you something extra cool. And there's the completed top rack, transformed into the upper observation level. I think it's a pretty fun adventure vehicle design. Ready for some off-roading. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me and my crash test dummy over here in learning how to build some really cool Lego cars. And as always, remember that no matter how simple or complex your Lego model might be, it's always going to be awesome, especially if you worked really hard on it all by yourself. Take this for example. I didn't even really set out to build such a cool truck. I was simply rebuilding a Lego vehicle that was in my scrap heap. But I came up with such a really fun adventure vehicle that I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Hopefully some of the techniques and elements that we took a look at today inspire you to go on and build your own amazing Lego vehicles. I'd love to see what you make at home. If you want to share them with us, you can find us at BRIX, B-R-I-X, EDU on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can share with us some of the pictures of your models. And I would love to feature them in some future videos. So thanks for tuning in today, and I can't wait to see you here again in the BRIX studio real soon. Until next time, play well and happy building. Bye!